I'm joined by legal analyst Jim Nuzzo as well as Alexandra Smith. Let's start big and broad, guys. Jim, I'll start with you. Why did Trump pick Judge Cavanaugh?
You know, all the time, Trump always likes to say that he comes from left field. But when it comes to both Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, it's almost as if he's going and looking at central casting. Both of these nominees now won a justice. Could not have been scripted better. And I want to take one swipe at what Judge, soon-to-be Justice Kavanaugh said when he said he was an only child. Frankly, he has a twin, and that twin is Neil Gorsuch. Both of them went to the same high school. They both went to Georgetown Prep. Both of them clerked for for Kennedy. And both of them have had long-standing time on the appellate bench. It almost as if they're sort of twin brothers in many respects. And if you look at their jurisprudence, it also lines up in which they're very much twins. When Kavanaugh takes the bench, you'll have the Kavanaugh-Gorsuch twins.
That's interesting. Hey, Alexandra Smith. Alexandra, what's your take on this pick?
This is just so exciting. I mean, for conservatives who care about judges who interpret the Constitution and according to its original public intent, or interpreting the laws as they're written, you could find no better friend in that than Judge Cavanaugh. I mean, this is a guy who has taken on the administrative state, the ever-expanding administrative state, and really, overruled federal agencies 75 times during his tenure as a judge for the D.C. Circuit. So I think as conservatives, we couldn't be happier tonight.
And guys, look, any pick that Trump would have made, the Democrats have already declared war on the pick. Jim, this pick in particular, Kavanaugh, what do you think the Democrats are going to focus on?
Well, you can write their talking points exactly. It almost doesn't matter as to whether they chose Kavanaugh, whether they chose Barrett, who they happen to choose. They're going to talk about Roe versus Wade. Now, I think that Bill O'Reilly made a great point. Judge Cavanaugh has never talked about abortion. Matter of fact, he made a point tonight to talk about the fact that he likes prior precedent, which was a little bit of a hint to the Republican wavering senators that I'm going to be looking very seriously at those precedents, one of them being Roe versus Wade. It doesn't matter. They're going to be attacking him on all the social justice issues, regardless as to how he happened to have voted.
And Alexandra, look, I loved his speech, not just the personal stuff, but when he said, I'm going to interpret the law, not make law. My job is to interpret the Constitution as written. You know, and I know that Judge Amy Coney Barrett would have easily excited the conservative base. Do you see this pick exciting the conservative base?
I do, because, Judge Cavanaugh follows in the same model as Justice Gorsuch. And we remember, what a smooth confirmation process that was, that the Democrats ended up looking so extreme and ridiculous in their opposition to him. So I think that the same is going to be true for this confirmation process. With respect to Judge Barrett, though, I mean, this is someone who, the president clearly liked. I think that during her confirmation fight, during the nomination that she had for the Seventh Circuit, the Democrats came after her for her Catholic faith, and she was just, she showed total grace under pressure. She was incredibly poised, and we know that the president likes a fighter. So I would not count her out for a future promotion from this president.
Joe, as a matter of fact,
go ahead.
I was going to say, as a matter of fact, when Senator Orrin Hatch was asked about Judge Barrett, he said today, not her time this time, but it will be her time next time. And wouldn't it be amazing if we had Judge Barrett take over for Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Now that would be a grand slam.
That would be something. Jim, if you're describing Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the average layperson out there, how would you describe this potential Supreme Court justice?
I think the president put it exactly right. He's a judge's judge. This is a man who is meticulous in the way in which he writes opinions. He respects the law. He has no desire to put an ideological test upon the law. This is someone who, Akhil Amar, who is a professor at the Yale Law School, and by no means a conservative, probably a very, very left-leaning member of the faculty there, basically said is one of the, we're talking about the judge, one of the smartest people who he's ever worked with. If you have an Akhil Amar who is basically saying you can't do better than this, that he's a judge's judge, I think he's got it exactly right.
Hey, Alexandra, quick answer. He will get approved, and when Kavanaugh gets approved, will this make this court more conservative?
I mean, I think what it does is it again affirms, our vision as conservatives for someone who is an originalist and someone who is a textualist. I think that the conservative and liberal labels sort of get thrown around improperly when we talk about the court. Liberals think that the court is sort of another legislator, another place where they can affect policy outcomes. All conservatives ask that judges interpret the rule of law as it was written. And so I think that, what we're going to see is really the court reaffirm those values.
An exciting night. Jim Nuzzo, Alexandra Smith, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Another violent weekend in another American city. Next.